You are not reaching the full potential of your mind, and here's why. What do the majority of people do every time they get an ounce of free time? They pick up their phone and they scroll. Whether it's TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you name it, they pick up their phone and they scroll. They get a 5-minute break from work, they scroll. While they eat their lunch, they scroll. Before they go to bed at night, they scroll. They're bored and have nothing to do, they scroll. They sit on the toilet, they scroll. It's just second nature at this point. It's an unconscious action, just pick up their phones and scroll. And look, I'm not one to judge. I'm guilty of the same shit. I am in that majority of people. And I think we all know at this point that too much social media and phone usage is bad for our mental health. I've often heard people say the dangers of it are that it's damaging our attention spans, or it's making us insecure because we're constantly comparing ourselves to others.
Social media and what it means for kids' mental health.
We see rates of depression and anxiety and suicide.
Some reports suggest it could actually be harming their attention span.
It also, in many kids, is contributing to their sense of loneliness and impacting their own self-esteem.
And yeah, these are very bad things, and I'm sure they're true, but I would argue that these aren't the only side effects of overusing social media. One of the most dangerous parts about it is that it's stopping you from unlocking your mind's full potential. Let me explain. Ask yourself this question. How often, when you have any bit of free time at all, do you ever just sit there and allow yourself to be bored? How many times do you just allow yourself to sit there with your thoughts? I'd like to guess probably not a lot. And here's the problem with that. When you're scrolling on social media, you're essentially mindless. You're only intaking information. You're not processing or producing any information. Every second you spend scrolling through social media is a second you are not thinking for yourself. Because of this, you're giving your mind no time to just think or come up with any original ideas. You're robbing yourself of your own natural thoughts. You're robbing yourself of your mind's full potential. On the other hand, when we allow ourselves to be bored without distractions, our minds wander, and this is a good thing. I've tried this several times, and I've observed what's come to my mind when I have nothing to distract me. I noticed that I just randomly started thinking about so many productive things because my mind had no other choice. I randomly started thinking about solutions to current problems I had in my life. I randomly started thinking of business ideas. I started to remember things that I had forgotten earlier. And one time I just randomly started cleaning my room and doing other productive things because my mind had nothing else to do. You just never know all of the thoughts and ideas you could be missing out on. But each second of your free time you spend sitting on your phone, scrolling mindlessly, is a second that you could be missing out on these. And I encourage you all to try this. Just allow yourself to be bored when you have free time, when you eat, when you sit on the fucking toilet. You'd be surprised at the things that just come to your mind. I mean, the possibilities are literally endless. You could randomly think of your $1 million business idea. You could think of the solution to that issue you've been dealing with. If you're an artist, you could think of a hit song idea. You could remember to reach out to that person you've been wanting to talk to. And like me, you might also find that you'll eventually just get up and do something productive, and you won't even have to push yourself to do it. It's just so crazy to think that before cell phones, social media, and television, people had no other choice but to do this. They were just alone with their thoughts constantly, but this is why so many great creations came from these people. I mean, today we still talk about these old philosophers like Socrates and Plato, and we refer to them as great thinkers, but that's because they had nothing else to fucking do. I mean, just think about it. These dudes just had to sit on the shitter and think. They had no other option. But on the contrary, I'm not saying to never use social media. Obviously, I'm not perfect. I literally post on social media for my job. It's such a good technological advancement that we should take advantage of it. I think most things are good in moderation. At times, it's good to see other people's ideas and creations. There are great TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube creators who have taught me so many things that I still use today. And even with the quote-unquote useless content on these platforms, it's good to go on there every once in a while if you just need a good laugh. I would just say try to make it a goal to not have it just be a filler every time you have free time. Just use it as like a treat or something every once in a while. And look, I get why we spend so much time distracting ourselves with our phones. It's not only because we want that constant dopamine hit, it's also because it can be scary to be alone with our own thoughts all the time. I understand that, and I feel that way a lot, especially as you get older and your mind gets more complex, and especially if you're an overthinker, that shit can be a storm. So we often want to subconsciously distract ourselves. But if you can get over that fear and just genuinely allow yourself to be bored, in my experience, it's not as scary as I thought it would be. It actually becomes a little addicting, and your mind starts to crave that productivity that comes from it. I mean, it's kind of cool. Like, as corny as it sounds, you get to like really explore your mind more, and you just like start to see things that you never saw before. And I think a big thing that motivated me to make this video is that everyone has their own original thoughts, right? Like, out of the billions of people who have lived on this earth, only you have the ability to explore and share your original thoughts and ideas, because no one else is you. But I just feel like so many people are limiting their minds and ideas and not bringing them out into the world for others to see, because they spend so much time distracting their mind and not exploring it. So like I said before, I'm not saying you shouldn't use social media. I actually do do think we need to take advantage of the great technology at our fingertips, but I'm just saying to use it a lot less, like maybe as a treat on the weekends or something. So during the week, you can allow your mind to think more. Just try it for a little, for like a few days or something. Just allow yourself to be bored. I know it can be scary, but anytime you would usually pick up your phone during the day, just sit there and do nothing. And when you do this, you don't need to force any thoughts, just allow them to come. If you try it, let me know how it goes in the comments below, or just let me know your thoughts on this topic. I'm interested to hear if anyone else thinks about this as much as I do. Yeah, so good luck, y'all, and until next week, we'll see you later.